Hi everyone, in this video I will discuss with you on February and March 2021 paper 2 for ICT, and I will focus on data manipulations task. So we move to the data manipulation task, and first of all you have to remember, use the evidence document as given in the source file. So let me copy the evidence document first. So because they give the evidence document, so we need to use it, okay? So I will put it as paper 2. And open the source file evidence document first. And I will perform save as, save it as Word document. So Word document, and since there is a fixed file name given, so we have to follow. So it's M21 evidence followed by your candidate's number. Okay, so I will append with X to denote the candidate's number. So this is the evidence document provided. So we will go to our task 3 database. So you're going to prepare some report for the science department. Make sure that all the currency value display the same currency symbol. So as long as it provide the same currency symbol, then it will be alright. So another way which we can cross-check to make sure that we are having the consistent currency symbol, you can actually check your task 2. Okay, you can check your task 2 to make sure that your data provided is actually consistent. Okay, it's actually consistent with the symbols given in the task. So a suitable database package, using a suitable database package, import file m21store.csv. CSV is actually a comma separated value file. It's a text file format. Okay, so use the file name and data type as given. So this is the file structure, and set the product code as a primary key and save the data. And you have to prepare evidence document for evidence for by screenshot showing the primary key, file name, field name, and data type used in the table, and put it in your evidence document. So first of all, we need to launch Access. In this case, we're using Access to solve the questions. So we need to create the database. So I will create the database first. So start in my paper 2, and I just named it as task 3 for the database and create it. So to import the CSV file, we go to external data and go for text file. Okay, because this is import. So external data, import, then go to text file, because CSV is a text file. So go to the source file you have. So we have stars, open, and it's actually separated by delimiter where the comma is the separator, and we go to the next. So we can cross-check, especially the first row of the records. So you see product code, which is actually same as the field name. So first row is actually the field name, so we need to check this checkbox. First row contains field name, and go to the advanced button here. You can actually change the data type given here. So we need to make sure that product code, supplier are text data type, and net price, it should be currency in 2 decimal places and display the currency symbol. The other should be integer or numeric. So these first 3, there's no problem. So net price, we have to change it to currency symbol. The rest we can maintain. So just next. So this is another place where we can change the data type. So you can change the data type from here by clicking on different field name. Okay, so next. So we have to set the primary key. So as the question required, you have to set product code as the primary key. So choose my own primary key and we set product code as the primary key. So to become the primary key, you have to always remember it must be unique, okay, and non-replicate. Then next, so we import this table, close. So you can open the table, have a look to double check. So here you can see that I'm using actually $ for the currency symbol. And you have the data is being imported, and you can click on the design view to actually cross-check, and we can go to the net price, make sure it is showing currency value, and you can go to the format, have a look. So you can choose different currency symbol. Here you can choose euro or $, but I will choose $, and set it to 2 decimal places. So here decimal places, we set it to 2. So remember to save your changes and take a screenshot. So you have to take your snipping tools and just screenshot this. Okay, so just screenshot this and put it in your evidence number 4. So this is your evidence number 4. So we can proceed to question number 13. So in question number 13, examine and import the file M21 supplier. Set the appropriate data type. When this mentioned here, we need to cross-check, make sure we choose the correct data type. And we have to set the supplier code as the primary key. So again, we have to repeat the same process to import. So external data, text file, and browse, go to supplier file, and OK. Then next. So supplier code, company name, address 1, address 2. We have to check this checkbox again. First row contains the field name. And you can actually roughly have a look. Okay, so we have supplier code, company name, address 1, address 2. And there is town, postcode, okay, telephone. So here got telephone. So we go to advanced button. So cross check. So in this case, we will change the telephone number to text. Okay, short text data type, because we wouldn't use it for calculation, and some of the telephone number, they may start with 0 or they may include the symbol. That's why we wouldn't set it as number data type. So next. Okay, so choose the primary key. Supplier code will be the primary key, and finish. So close, double click to open. So this is your supplier table. Then evidence number 5, screenshot evidence to show the primary key, field name, and data type used in this table and put it in evidence document. So again, we have to go to the design view of this supplier table, and we take the snipping tools to capture. So this will be your evidence number 5. So always remember, okay, make sure that your evidence descriptions is actually in the same page as the pictures you provide. So remember to save your work from time to time. Okay, so this is how we can perform the import. So we're going to continue to the next question. So question number 14, create a columnar data entry form with all the fields in the suppliers table to display one record at a time. So remember, it's only one record at a time. And apply 4 features to this form to make the design user-friendly. Okay, so maybe we can discuss about what are the 4 features we should actually add in for a form. So you can think of, okay, to give a better title, okay, a better title for your form. A color scheme, okay, a better color scheme given, okay. And then you can also include meaningful label, okay, meaningful label for each of the field, and navigation button, Okay, navigation button is important also. And in this case, you can see that there is no yes or no field here, so we cannot include the combo box. Okay, but you can include instructions. Okay, you can include instructions to actually get known to your user, okay, so that they know what they should enter in the form. So at least here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 different five different features we can actually add in to enhance our design. Okay, to enhance our design. So let's go to design the form. So supplier form, create. So we will, for me, I will straight away use the form features here, which they will do some pre-design for us, and we can actually do the amendment from here. If you don't like these features, you can actually use the form design, which a blank form will be given, and you can just use the add existing field to drag and drop. Okay, so you have to put in all the title by yourself. So first of all, in the layout view, I will change the title of the form here. So I will name it as product suppliers form, because this is the suppliers form for the table, and it's title, so we can actually format it to bold, and you can change to the font styles which you like. Okay, then we have the supplier codes, but you see this is the field name. Maybe for the user, they may not be so sensible to them. Okay, and the text boxes are actually too big to include all the data, so we can actually readjust it. Okay, do some adjustment to make sure that it is actually in the correct size. Okay, it is not too big or too small. So we can actually change the field name here. Okay, so here we can make it more sensible. Maybe we will enter the supplier code, so it is more friendly to the end user. And then here the company name, so enter the company name, and then address 1. So maybe for some user, if you write address 1, they may not understand what is this, so we will write enter the first line of the address. If you would like to include the colon, you can also include the colon. Then enter the second line of the address, and then here, so it is in more polite way. Okay, enter the town and postcode, so enter the postal code, and last one, enter the telephone. Okay, telephone number. So if you want, so you can see some I included column, some I didn't, right, which is not consistent. So we can actually include the column for each of them. Okay, then we can also write a line for all the form. It depends on how you feel about the form. For me, so it depends on how you want to justify your arrangement. Okay, then you realize that actually all these, they are under one table. So if you don't want this to happen, you want to actually separate them, you can actually pull them out. So for me, I can do like this. So you can cut it out, and then you do some rearrangement by yourself. So it depends on which methods you feel comfortable with. If you would like to drag and drop like the method just now, is also fine. So it depends on which methods you are more comfortable with. So by doing this, we actually break the link, okay, so that they are not actually in one big table. So we can have their individual box, okay, individual text box size. So here I can actually make it smaller for this text box, because for the supplier code, it's just few characters. If you double click to open, you see just 3 characters. So we don't need to give such a big text box for it. Okay, then the address, we may actually give a longer bar line, but postal code, it shouldn't be this big, so we can actually resize it into smaller size, okay, and make it consistent. Okay, then just now we do mention about the instruction. So to put in the instruction, we can actually use a label. Okay, label is just to display. So we can use a label to actually include. So I will put the label here to give the instruction. So this should be a 3-letter code. Okay, so by putting this over here, you actually give a clue to your user how the data should be. So because this is just a descriptions or instruction to the user, we may not need to make it such a large font size. Okay, and we can also make sure that all the fonts are very clear to your user. So maybe we can set it to black color fonts. So if you switch to the view, this is how it looks like. Okay, then we have the meaningful label, we have the instruction, we have the title. We can also include navigation button. So to include the navigation button, we go to the control. Okay, we insert the control for navigation button. So choose the button, and you can draw the navigation button here. So we can actually have this navigation button to save the form or to save the record. So we will go for the record operations. We go to save records. So you can choose whether you want to have the written descriptions or the picture button. So for me, I will choose the picture button. So save records. So next, so here I will do btn for the prefix for button. That's a name for the button, so it's easier for me to refer to it. So save records. So it will perform save. So we can also include like close the forms button. So I show one more time how we can draw the button. So if I want to close the forms button, I can use this forms operations, and we can use close form button. So I will choose the doorway exit. Next, so btn close form. So this is how we can create the form. And when you go to the form view, this is how it looks like. So when I change the data, I will just click the save button, or I can click on the close button to close it, but I won't close it at the moment because I haven't saved my form. So we have to save the form. So here, form for suppliers table. Oh, sorry, I forgot. FRM, okay? So this is the form. So when you go to the form view, when you click on the close button, the form will be closed. Okay, so this is how we can prepare the user-friendly form for your database, for your table, and then use the form to enter this data as a new record. So you have to key in the new record through using the form. So make sure you go to the form view and go to the new record here. Then only you key in the data. So here we will key in the data, TPS, and then Tawara Pin supplier, and then next one will be water site Retail Park. So the second line will be Harbor Ridge and Tawara. And then the postal code is TW124RT, and the telephone number 1911-56222. So you can click the save button to save your records. Okay, you can click the save button to save your record. You can also cross-check by double-click your table, and you can see that this is the new records TPS. So TPS, this is the new records which I newly key in. So always remember, please make sure that you key in 100% accurate, because it actually holds some marks for this accuracy of the data key in. So to take the screenshots, you have to screenshot the evidence of the form with the new record display. So make sure that you capture using the form view and take your snipping tools to capture the form. So this is how you can capture it and put it in your evidence document, evidence number 6. So this is how your evidence number 6 should looks like. Okay, so after you're done, then you go to question number 15. Create a one-to-many relationship between supplier code in the supplier table and the supplier code in the store table. So to create the relationship, we have to close everything in your database and go to the database tools, relationship. So add in the two tables and supplier code in the supplier table. Click, drag, point to the supplier code in the store table. So you can see the pop-up window for edit relationship and enforce referential integrity. So you will have one-to-many relationship. So save the relationship created and take snipping tools again, and you have to capture the evidence. So this is how this is what you should give us in your evidence number 7. Okay, so we continue to our next question, question number 16. So in question number 16, you have to use the field from supplier table. So it's actually only from supplier table to create the label, which show only the record where company names contains Tawara, sort in ascending order of company name. Okay, so in the label, using this selection produce the label which arranged in 2 columns, 4 rows. Okay, so it's actually 4 times 2 with 8 labels to the page, with the page in portrait orientations. So for example, the label size should be 99 millimeter width with 67.7 millimeter height. Okay, then show only the field company name, address 1, address 2, town, postal code, and telephone in this order on each separated line. So include in center align heading approved supplier in the larger fonts at the top of each label, and your candidate's details on the left bottom of each label. So this is what they expect you to give in the label. So always remember, to create the label, we must create the query first in order to get the records we want. Okay, to get the data we want, so we need to create the query first, and then only we create the label, so how it looks like in the formatting. So we go to create our query first. So query design, get our supplier table. We need to show the company name, and then address 1, address 2, town, postal code, and telephone. So these are the fields we need. And the criteria is company names contains. So when you see contains, we have to use the wildcard asterisk. Okay, so contains Tawara. So we need to go to the company name and use the operator like double quotation, asterisk, Tawara, double quotation, asterisk, then double quotation. So it means that it contains the word Tawara. Then you can run the query, have a look. This is the one going to show us in our query result. Okay, so you can get 8 records returned to you. Then they also request you to sort the data in ascending order. So we can also do the sorting here. Sort ascending order of the company name. So run the query. This is how it looks like. Okay, and you can save it. So it is approved supplier. I will use the heading for the query name. So once we got the query, then we can proceed to the label. So to create the label, select the query we want, go to create, use label here. So you can choose C2244 for the 2 columns label, but in this case, I will show you how can we actually customize the label, because we have the dimension for our label, which is 9.9 centimeter and 6.77 centimeter for the height. So customize, we get our new label size. So the dimension of the label will be this is in cm, so 9.99. For the 9.99 is the width, this is the height, which is 6.77, and the width is actually 9.99. So you can have the dimension, and you can have you can actually name your label. Okay, so in this case, I just leave it here. So okay, so we set automated margin. So this is the dimension, and across, so I can edit number across. I make it 2 because we want 2 columns. Okay, number across we make it 2. So you have 2 columns here, and then close. So you choose your label, the customized label. Okay, then we go next. So we're going to put in the label. So double check here. It never asks for the label. It just wants the data. So we show it in separate line. So the first one goes to the company name, enter. Then address 1, enter. Address 2, enter. Town, enter. Postal code, enter. And your telephone number. Okay, then you can enter and actually put in your candidate's detail here. So you can just type in your candidate's detail. Later on, you can actually adjust or do the formatting. So next, so any sorting we want to do, so we can choose company name because we want to sort it in ascending order. Then next, so this is the label for the approved supplier. So let's have a look how it looks like. So this is how it looks like for our label. Okay, so we're going to do some amendment on this. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have another 2. So we have to do some adjustment here. Go to design view. Okay, the detail. You have such a big layout. We can actually narrow it a bit because we don't need so much space for it. Okay, then you have to put in the candidates. You have to put in the title, the heading, because here you got the heading approved supplier. So we put in the heading by using the label here. So type in approved supplier, and this word should be in a larger font. So we go to the format. I will change it to 14. So when you change it to 14, you just need to make sure that you adjust the box size. I will adjust it to be the same as the other text boxes so that when we center align it, it is just right at the center. Okay, then we change the fonts to black color. Then your candidate's details, you have to make sure that it is actually left aligned. Okay, because in the question it mentioned that it should be at the left bottom of the label. So to show it, it is like the label. Okay, we can actually draw the outer box for it. So go to the design and use the rectangle shape. You can actually draw a box to actually square up the label. So we change the shapes layout to black, and the shapes fill we make it transparent. Then when you go to print preview, you can see that your label is being printed properly. But if you feel that it is like there's no margin here, right? So we can actually adjust a little bit more. So I will do some changes here just to narrow the box a bit. So we just narrowed it a bit. To make sure that it is being shown properly, so it goes beyond the size. So let's narrow it a bit more so that it is just nice in the shapes required. So this is how it should look like. So I will narrow it a little bit more. You can use the arrow button to do the movement. So this is how your label looks like. So we can narrow it a little bit more. So when you go to print preview, this will be your printout number 2. Okay, this will be your printout number 2. So I can actually save it. Okay, save the changes. In this case, I will show you in the PDF printout. So I'll print it as my printout number 2. So this is how it looks like when you print in hard copy. So you will have your candidate's details here, and your approved supplier is right at the center. So this is how it should be for your printout number 2. So we continue to the next task in this question number 17. So use a field in both tables, produce a tabular report. So in this report, it contains a new field called order value, which calculated at runtime. So this is actually the calculated field, and this field will calculate the value of net price multiplied by reorder number. So if we need to write up the formula it is actually for calculated field, we get the calculated field order value column. Okay, column first. So net price multiplied reorder number, because net price and reorder number is the field name. So we have to write them within the square bracket. So net price times square bracket reorder number. So always remember that, okay, to do calculated field, we will use columns, and we will use the square bracket to write our field name. Then this new field, we need another new field called order now, which is also calculated at runtime. And now this field will calculate whether the number available, okay, the number available is less than or equal to the minimum number. Okay, is less than or equals to minimum number. So this calculated field will be like this. Okay, we will do the, so less than or equals to minimum stock. So the order now, the calculated field will be order now, colons. So available is the field name and min stock is also the field name. So within the square bracket, available less than equal, so less than equal min stock, because min stock is also the field name. So they will do the comparison. So the return result will be either 0 or -1, which is true or false. Okay, then select only the product where the supplier code is TES and the order now is -1. So show only the field, company name, product net price, reorder number, order values, and order now in this order with the data and label in full. Then from here we can actually see clearly these are what we're supposed to do in the query. Okay, we will do this in the query. We prepare the data, extract out the date record first, then only we will proceed to the report. So after we have all the things, then we will proceed to the report, which we are going to do the sorting. So the data will sort in ascending order of the product, and remember, do not group the data. And landscape orientation, single page wide. Okay, then in your report, you also need to calculate the total value of the order item and position this number below the order value. So we want the total value of the order item and have a label net value of this order. Okay, then we calculate the VAT on the net value. Okay, on the net value of this order in the rate of 20%, positions it below the calculated value of net value. Okay, then show the label, and this is the heading, and don't forget you have to place your candidate's information at the bottom left of every page of the report. So let us go for the query first. Okay, so we go to the query. To create the query, we create query design. Okay, then include the two tables. Then we select the data needed. So we need the company name, product net price, reorder number, order value, and order now. So company name and then product. Okay, so the product is come from the product table, a store table, and then net price, order number, and order value we don't have, so we have to write in the calculated field. So it is going to be ordered value. Remember, it is columns. Okay, then it is order value is net price multiplied reorder number. So net price multiplied reorder number. Just one thing we need to highlight here is the field name, they are case sensitive. So there are two things you need to take note. The first one is make sure that the field name is written within the square bracket, and they are case sensitive. So when it is capital letter, you have to follow capital letter. Then the next field we need to show is actually order now. Okay, order now, which order now is available less than equal min stock. So we will do order now columns. Let me widen the column first. So it is available less than equal min stock. So just make sure that it is shown properly. So you can run the query, have a look. So this is how the order value being calculated, and this is how the order now being calculated. Okay, then we will go for extract the criteria. So we want the supplier code is TES. So include the supplier code. So we do not have supplier code just now, so we need to select the supplier code. And here the criteria, double quotation, TES, double quotation. You have to uncheck the checkbox because we don't need it to be shown. And we need the order now is -1, so order now equals to -1. So you run the query. This is how it should be. So you will get 30 records in this query. Okay, so you can save your query first. So I will save using the report title. So Tawara University Science Store. So I will use the report name, okay, report heading as my query name. So once we extract the data, then we will proceed to the report creation. So to create the report, personally, I will more comfortable to use the report wizard, because when we use the report to create the report, first thing is the default orientation by SS, it is actually portrait, okay, and it will give some pre-calculation for you. If you can see from here, they will do some pre-calculations, so it may not be what we need in our questions. So I'm not so encouraged, okay, to actually do using this report. So I will use report wizard. So we do report wizard and select the correct query we need to use, because we already prepared everything. So we select order field, and remember, we don't want to do the grouping. So when you see in how you view your data, you see there are two boxes like this. It means that it is being grouped by the company name. So we choose this, okay, you show row by row, and no grouping required. The order we will do it later on, because in SS, yes, we need to sort in ascending order of product, but because in our report we already prepared in the sequence we want, so the sorting I will do it later on. Then next, so orientation, let's set it in one in landscape orientation, okay, and a tabular layout. So we select tabular layout. Next, the title of the form, the report, so we put in the title we want. So Tawara University Science Store. Then go for the preview report. So this is how the reports looks like, and from here we can see that actually some of the field is actually is unable to show. So we need to do some adjustment. So for me, I will encourage you to do the adjustment using the layout view, okay, because when we do layout view, we can see the data clearly in the detail. So click on the label, press down the control key, click on the details or the data, and you can actually adjust the color width of your data. So when you adjust, you need to make sure that all the data are fully visible. So by using in the layout view, you can view it, and it helps us to ensure, okay, all the data we can cross-check by scroll down. So you can see that this is not fully visible, so we got to adjust it a little bit more. Okay, then the net price, and we have the reorder number, so adjust it. Then reorder value. So when you adjust, you remember to scroll down to make sure that all your data are fully visible and they didn't actually block each other's, okay? And you see the page number here is being, it go beyond one page. So this is actually the margin, okay, the guideline to help us. So all the data are fully visible now, okay? So you can go to the print preview, have a look. This is how your report should looks like, okay? So we cross-check. At this point, we done the landscape orientation. We have the single page wide, okay, but we need to sort in ascending order of product. So to sort in ascending order of the product, we go to group and sort and add sort product. So ascending order, A on top, okay? So from here, I will do some adjustment. So make sure there's no overlapping, okay? Then next one is, so we done the sorting, okay, the sorting done. So calculate the value of the order item. We need to make sure that they they got the correct calculation under the order value. So we can go to the order value. Under the order value, this is the part, right? So you can click on the data. This is one of the method we can do. Click on the data, go to the total under the design tab, and we want to get the total of the order value. So we can go to total and you choose sum. So it will write the formula for you. So if you switch to the design view, you can see the formula given here. Okay, the formula is actually equal sum order value. So they will calculate the order value for you automatically. Okay, they will write the formula for you also. Then what you have to do is just get the design tab and include the label to write down the label required. So here we will need to type in the label net value of this order. Okay, so just need to adjust it, move it right to the left of the formula. Okay, then we need one more formula here. The next formula is actually to calculate the VAT value on the order, which is actually 20% of the at 20% here. So VAT on this order, we will use the formula. This round I will write the formula by myself. So I will use the text box here. So you include the text box. So whatever formula you want to do, you have to write in the unbound text box. Okay, so equal sum. Okay, so you will take the order value. Okay, order value multiplied by 20%, so means that 0.2. So this is how the value should look like. So I widen the space for you to see the formula. So this is how the formula should look like. And the text here is the label. So you just need to put in the label, so which is VAT on this order. So you just need to adjust the column width. And for me, I will change the font color to black. Okay, so when we go to the print preview, you can have a clear view. This is how it should look like. So we can do some adjustment here to make sure that the figure are being shown properly. Okay, they have been aligned properly. And don't forget, because these two are the value, right? So we need to actually change it in the same currency figure. Okay, currency unit. So just select the toolbox, right click, property.
So this two we have to change to currency. So you just need to select these two text box, okay, and change it to currency and two decimal places. So it will have the standardized currency symbol. Okay, then just cross check. So we've done the label, we've done the calculations and the title. So we'll go for the candidate information displayed at the bottom left of every page. So go to the design view, and we have to write, because every page of the report, so we have to write in the page footer, because every single page we need it. So left of the page, you can actually choose to delete the equal now text box, because it's not compulsory to have this field. So we can delete this and use a label to write in your candidate's detail. So candidate details here, and I will encourage you to actually change it to black color first. So when you go to print preview, your candidate's detail will appear on every single page. Okay, your candidate's detail will appear on every single page. So this is how it looks like for your printout number 3 for this question. So I export to PDF for you to have a look. So printout 3. So this is how it looks like for your printout number 3. Okay, then in evidence number 8, you have to prepare the screenshot showing the formula used to calculate the net value and the VAT value. So go to the design view. You have to do it in the design view and pick your snipping tools. What you have to do is just need to screenshot the two calculation, okay, two formula you use in this calculation. So put it in your evidence number 8. So this is how it should look like. Okay, then for the question number 18, export the report created in step number 17 in a portable document format. So it's actually export to PDF. So what we have to do, what I already done is actually I already exported it. So you can see that this is printout 3. Okay, because I want to show you how it should look like when I print it out. Then place in your evidence document screenshot, show the export file, save in your area, and make sure that there's evidence of the file type. So for this evidence, we will encourage you to actually output it in this way. So click on the report you generated, right click, export PDF. You can use the same method as what I did just now also, but just remember to use the report type here, so Tawara University Science Store, then publish. So this is how the PDF file should look like. Okay, then to prepare your evidence number 8, you have to support with the file type. So just go to the folder where you save the file, and you need to make sure that the file extension is being shown. So you just need to make sure that the file filing extension checkbox is being checked, and click the snipping tools. So my snipping tools, and you have to screenshot in this way. So this is the place where you need to show to us. Okay, this is the one which you need to show. So just copy this screenshot, put it in your evidence number 9. So this is what you need to perform for your database task in March 2021 paper. I hope you are clear on all the instructions here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.